fellow martial artists. It's the K-Man here for TKD Performance Tips, here to give you some tips to help you get better in your martial arts. Now, I'm here in beautiful Christchurch. Behind this curtain is a beautiful view of the lake and the golf course. But that's not what we're here. We're here to do a little bit of a workout with my good sparring partner, Charlie the Chair, and how to work on controlling your dynamic side kick. Now, I'm in my room and I'm doing lots of drills, not just for the thrill. And I'm doing what we call repetition is the mother of all skill. I was taught by Master Hutton, a great martial art colleague of mine. You know, it's very hard to beat someone who does 500 side kicks a day. So today, I'm doing about 400 side kicks, 200 in each leg. I'm drilling the things that I want to fine tune and get better at. So let's have a look at maybe the sparring side kick. First of all, before you start throwing kicks out and hoping they're going to land, first of all, there's a couple phases or layers that you need to work on. First of all is the anatomy. So before you start to run around throwing kicks trying to hit a target, how about you just learn how to do a basic side kick with good control. So the basic anatomy is be able to go through a drill in a very controlled environment that works the muscles of the side kick. Now I'm using Charlie the Chair here so I don't take a shortcut by just raising my leg rather than lifting my foot and throwing the kick out. So the first drill is for you to, just working on the anatomy, getting yourself in a great position and be able to do a side kick with control and holding it. The next from there is to make it a little bit more dynamic. So it might be from where your launch spot. So you start launching the side kick in a dynamic motion from just bouncing up and down as if you're sparring, and then just from here just to drill this where you lift and kick. Just up and down. Now notice I'm holding it. I'm holding it because I want to develop control of it. Now later on I won't hold it in a sparring situation, but if I can hold it and control it in the sparring situation, then I can probably change it as I throw it to a turning kick or do another double pump side kick. So it's important to learn the control of it so you're not just launching it, like throwing the whole kitchen sink at your opponent, hoping it hits, but if you miss, then you have no control and you probably fall into one of their counter attacks. So the next step is to be able just to dynamically throw the kick from your launch spot. Then you start to apply it more. So how are you going to launch it in a real sparring situation? So at the moment I'm working on, just sort of changing my foot width, and I've been working with my coach, my sparring coach, Mr. Van Roon, and trying to get this really controlled and using the leverage of changing foot position to launch the kick. But even so, I've been practicing this today, but I still make sure that at the end of the kick I have control, because later on I can always just power it up if I want to. So that's just, I'm going to do 400 of them today. And then the next stage is obviously start moving it around with a moving target, and that makes it more application. So you look at anatomy, then the biomechanics and the movement, the application in a sparring situation, and then the last phase would be applying it with a sparring partner who's moving and using strategy to get past your side kick, and you're using your strategy to land your side kick. So the message for today is layer your techniques until you get to the promised land, which means it's the applied in an effective way in a sparring situation. But before you get there, you may just need to work on the anatomy of the kick, then a bit more of the launch of the kick, and working on then more of the biomechanics and the movement of the kick in how you're going to apply it, and then moving it, and then applying it in a sparring situation, and then applying it in a freestyle sparring situation where anything goes. But if you just take the side kick straight to the end, you're going to find tripping over yourself, constantly being counter-attacked and missing, and that may put you off your game and reduce your confidence in the side kick. So confidence builds confidence. So once you get that each layer, drill it, drill it, drill it, drill it. And as Master Hutton says, it's very hard to beat someone who throws, who trains and performs 500 side kicks a day with each leg. And by you, what are you going to become? You're going to become very great at side kicking. So make sure that perfect practice leads to perfection. Not practice, but perfect practice. So make sure you're practicing the right technique, the right application, and then you will be able to apply it in an effective way that suits your fighting strategy. See you in the next TKD Performance Tips.